This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Dear students, in the last session we have seen what is probability, how to define the probability, Bayes theorem, and applications of Bayes theorem are discussed in the last session. And as I said in the very first session, the first chapter of your subject probability theory and stochastic process is consisting of two parts. One is probability, other one is about random variable. And so far we have finished the first part of the first chapter. And now we are moving to second part of the first chapter, that is random variables. So in the second part of the first chapter, we are going to see what is random variable, definition of the random variable, conditions for a function to be a random variable, discrete, continuous and mixed random variables, distribution and density functions, the properties of distribution and density functions, and we are going to see some standard random variables like binomial, Bayesian, uniform, Gaussian, exponential, and Rayleigh random variables. And we are going to see methods of defining conditioning of event and conditional distribution, and also the conditional density and their properties. And coming to random variables. So what do you mean by random variable? Random variable is a new word, right? So here in the last session or before the last session, we have taken various examples to define the probability. And in some cases, we have taken tossing a coin experiment. In some cases, we have taken throwing a die experiment. In some cases, we have taken picking a card from a deck of playing cards. And if you observe the three cases, in the three cases, the outcomes are different. And the outcomes are represented by using the sample space and in which the elements are different in the different application. And therefore, to represent any application in a standardized way, we are going to use this particular random variable. In fact, whatever the outcomes we have from an experiment, and those outcomes are going to be mapped onto the real axis, and therefore we are going to represent by using the random variable, and which is defined or which is represented by mapping the outcomes of the experiment onto the real axis. So that is, therefore, we can define the random variable in this way. The random variable is defined as a rule or a function that assigns a numerical value to each possible outcome of a chance experiment, right? And the random variable is also called as a mapping function. As I said, we are mapping the elements of the sample space from all the outcomes of an experiment onto the real axis. So therefore, the random variable is also called as a mapping function, since it is a rule that assigns a real value to each of the outcome, right? And always the random variables are denoted by capital letters. Let, for example, capital X or capital Y and so on, such as W, X or Y, and real values are denoted with small letters. Real values in the sense what? We are mapping the outcomes onto the real axis. So therefore, those real values becomes the elements of the random variable. So therefore, in the other way, the elements of the random variable can be represented by small letters such as small w, small x, and small y. I repeat, to represent the random variable, we use capital letters. To represent the elements of the random variable, we represent small letters. And a small note you can take here. It is not necessary that the sample space points map uniquely. That is, more than one point in the sample space may map into a single value of x. That is, more number of outcomes in a sample space may also map a single element on the real axis, but no single outcome can map to two values, right? Two outcomes may be mapped to a single element in the random variable, but a single outcome cannot be mapped onto the two elements in the random variable, right? But here, first, I'm saying that the random variable is a function. And here you can have a simple doubt. As I'm saying a random variable as a function, can all the functions be random variables? That may be the question. But the answer is no. And not every function can be called or can be taken as a random variable. There are some standards or some conditions to define the random variable or to define the function which is a random variable. And there are two conditions needs to be satisfied for a function to be a random variable. First condition is, if I take the random variable as capital X and the elements represented by a small letter small x, then the set capital X less than or equal to small x shall be an event for any real number small x. That is, the probability of this event is denoted by P of x less than or equal to x is equal to the sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events corresponding to x less than or equal to x. What do you mean by this? For example, if I take the elements of the random variable as represented from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, here I am defining the random variable x as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So which is having discrete values. The function is having only discrete values. And now I can say that particular function as a random variable only if I take any number 5 and the probability of that particular element, that is P of x less than or equal to 5 equal to the sum of individual probabilities or elementary probabilities, that is P of x equal to 1 plus P of x equal to 2 plus P of x equal to 3 plus P of x equal to 4 plus P of x equal to 5. So if and only if, that is, the function x can be a random variable if and only if that particular condition is satisfied. Otherwise, that x cannot be a random variable. And second condition is, the probabilities of the event x equal to plus infinity and x equal to minus infinity should always be equal to 0. If I represent the random variable and you will be having maximum value, that is plus infinity, and the minimum value that can be minus infinity, always the probabilities at those particular elements or values must be equal to 0, and these two conditions must be satisfied for the function to be a random variable. First one, the probability must be equal to sum of all the elementary probabilities. Second one is at the boundaries, that is at the minimum and maximum element values, the probability must be equal to 0. So these two conditions must be satisfied. For example, let me take a simple experiment here. What is that experiment? An experiment consisting of rolling a die and flipping a coin. Both the experiments are done at a time. That is, it is called combined experiment. With one hand, I am flipping the coin. With another hand, I am throwing a die or rolling a die, and both the experiments are done at a time. So what is the sample space that you can expect here? That is, for example, if I get the tile, I may get tile or head. I may get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many combinations you can make? Total 6 outcomes out of this rolling a die experiment, 2 outcomes out of this flipping a coin experiment. So by combining these two, I can get total 12 possible outcomes, right? So here the sample space consists of 12 possible outcomes, and I can map those 12 possible outcomes onto the real axis to define the random variable, right? And here the x is nothing but random variable, which is a rule used to map all the elements of the sample space onto the real axis. So here this particular experiment, that is combined experiment, is having 12 possible outcomes, and all the elements are discrete elements, right? Another example you can take: an experiment consists of pointer on a wheel of chance. I have a wheel, I'm just placing a pointer, I'm just moving the pointer and just hitting the pointer, so that pointer may move all the way along the circle, and it may stop at any particular position, and that position is not defined. That is, there is an uncertainty, and therefore that particular experiment can be considered or can be analyzed by developing a probabilistic model, and therefore I am going to define the random variable for the possible outcomes of that particular experiment. And this is an experiment that is spinning a pointer on a wheel of chance. Spinning a pointer on a wheel of chance, right? So all the outcomes are mapped to the real axis, and that particular function or rule can be called as a random variable. So here, for better understanding, I can just, I'm taking an example, ice creams example, and versus customers. So that is, x is defined as a random variable, number of ice creams a customer orders. That may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number of ice creams the customer orders. One ice cream by 225 customers out of 500. 5 ice creams by 20 customers out of 500. Then I can say the probability of ordering one ice cream as 0.45. Why? Because 225 customers ordered, right? So if I represent those probabilities, that is called in fact distribution, and it is nothing but map across the customers versus the probability. See there, first one ice cream. If I say what is the probability of ordering one ice cream, 45% or 0.45. So this way I can define the experiment. Another example I can take, flip a coin twice, maybe with two hands or twice, and let x denote the number of hits. I am taking the random variable here, that is denote the number of hits, right? How many number of hits when an experiment is done? Maybe 0 hits. Both the case, that is in 2 times, if you get tiles, that becomes 0 hit. And similarly, you may get 1 hit, you may get 2 hits, right? So I'm just taking the values of x as from 0 to 2, 0, 1, 2. And what are the probabilities? How do you take the probabilities? What is the probability of getting 0 hits? First, what are the possible outcomes in the experiment? Possible outcomes, you may get two tails, you may get two heads, you may get tail and head, you may get head and tail. So how many possibilities we have to get 0 heads? Only one possibility. Therefore the probability of occurring 0 heads is nothing but how much? 1 by 4. So therefore you can define like this, p of x equal to 0 is 1 by 4, where x is a random variable. P of x equal to 1 is equal to 1 by 2. What is that? X is a random variable and 1 is nothing but number of heads. P of x equal to 2 is equal to 1 by 4, right? Where x is a random variable and 2 is number of heads. And we refer to these probabilities as the distribution of x, and that distribution, about the distribution, we'll see in the next topic, right? So this is the way to represent the probability against elements of the random variable. X is the random variable, 0, 1, 2 are the elements of the random variable. P of x is probability of each and every element of the x, right? Another example I can take, let x be the number of dots when a die is rolled. Similar experiment, right? Here what are the possible outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Each one can be considered as element of the random variable. What are the probabilities I can take? X equal to 1 equal to 1 by 6. P of x equal to 1 is 1 by 6. P of x equal to 2 is 1 by 6. And like that I can take similar all the probabilities in the experiment, and those probabilities can be represented across against the random variable elements. So that is, here if you observe the two tabular columns, the first tabular column is related to flipping two coins experiment, or flipping the coin twice experiment. The second tabular column is rolling a die experiment. In both the cases, here if you observe, the random variable is x only, but in the first case the x is having different elements, and the second case the x is having different elements, and both are numerical values. Both are numerical values. So that is, the random variable is used as a standard function for representation of all the real-time experiments, right? And basically there are two types of random variables. The first one is discrete random variable. When the random variable is said to be discrete, if that is, a discrete random variable has a finite number of possible values. That is, a discrete random variable will have finite number of possible values. Best example, in the previous slide we have conducted two experiments. One is flipping the coin twice, and the other one is rolling a die. And in both the cases, if you observe, that random variable x is having finite values. The first one is having the number of heads is defined as a random variable, and that particular random variable is having only finite elements 0, 1, 2. Whereas in the second case, in the rolling a die experiment also, the outcomes is represented by a random variable, and there also we have only finite number of values or elements for a random variable, and that is called discrete random variable, right? And also it may have an infinite number of or sequence of countable real numbers. Countable real number. For example, here I am conducting an experiment, flipping 1,000 coins at a time. 1,000 coins at a time. And in such a scenario, if I consider the random variable as similar way, if I take the random variable as number of heads, then ultimately here the values will be having the range from 0 to 1,000. 0 to 1,000. But in such a case also, the elements will be like 0, 1, 2, 3, and up to 1,000. So it cannot have the value in between 1 and 2 or 5 and 6. So that is, almost it is a sequence with infinite values or more values, but are countable real numbers. Another example, real-time example, you can take number of hits when trying 20 free throws. I'm just throwing a ball, and continuously I'm throwing for 20 times. Out of the 20 times, let us assume I'm just aiming a wall, aiming a wall, and here, and out of the 20 times, here number of hits can be considered as a random variable. Another one I can take here, number of customers who arrive at the bank from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. in a month. In a month, first day it may be 10 people, second day it may be 20 people, third day it may be 5 people. Like that, if I take all the values or the number of people arriving the bank in a particular duration, and that is a finite value, and if I consider for a month, it can be considered as a discrete random variable. Am I right? Am I clear? Right. Another, that is the first type of random variable. The second type of random variable is continuous random variable. A continuous random variable is one which takes an infinite number of possible values. An infinite number of possible values. So here while defining the random variable, I gave an example, that is spinning a pointer example, right? So whenever I spin a pointer on a wheel of chance, the position may be anywhere. For example, if I have the numbers, let it be like watch dial from 1 to 12, I may get the position of the pointer anywhere, that need not be only at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and so on. It may be anywhere, maybe in between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, and like that you may get the possible outcomes. And to represent those, we use the continuous random variable. So therefore, what is continuous random variable? Continuous random variable is one which takes an infinite number of possible events or possible values. A continuous random variable takes all the values in an interval of real numbers. Example, spinning a pointer on a wheel of chance. And here, sometimes you may have some experiment in which, that is the combined experiment, in which you may have both continuous values and discrete values. Simple example, with one hand, I'm flipping the coin. With one hand, I'm spinning the pointer on wheel of chance. And if I conduct both the experiments at a time, that become a combined experiment. In such a scenario, that particular random variable can become mixed random variable. Why? Because it is consisting of both, that is, one is discrete, another one is continuous value. That is, that random variable will come into the picture under special case. We call it as mixed random variable, right? Mixed random variable. So what is mixed random variable? The values of mixed random variable are both continuous and discrete in a given sample space, right? That is about types of random variables. And so far we have seen what is a random variable, how to define the random variable, what are the conditions for a function to be a random variable, and what are the types of random variables, right? Now we are entering into a new term called probability mass function. Now we have defined the random variable for a real-time experiment, right? So ultimately, our goal is to develop a probabilistic model to analyze a real-time experiment, right? So that is our target. In any experiment, if there is any uncertainty in the outcomes, we need to analyze by taking its probabilistic model. Therefore, we are coming step by step. That is, first we are defining the random variable for by taking all the outcomes of an experiment. And after that, for the analysis, we go with these type of functions. First one is probability mass function. What is probability mass function? First, let x be a let x be a discrete random variable with the range x1, x2, and so on. Right? There is no limit. Finite or countably infinite. Right? Then the function p of xk is called probability mass function. What do you mean by p of xk? P of xk is nothing but p of x equal to x suffix k, where small x suffix k represents the elements of random variable for k equal to 1, 2, and up to infinite, right? So that is p of x equal to x1, p of x equal to x2, p of x equal to x3 must be considered, and then by using them you can define probability mass function of that particular experiment. right? So this particular P of xk is called probability mass function or PMF of the random variable x. And graphically we can represent by taking an example here. Let us take an example. What is that example? That x is considered as number of daughters in a family with 3 children. A village is taken. So in the village, and only the families in which there are 3 children are considered. And from that sample here, out of the 3 children, how many daughters are there? Right? How many daughters are there is considered. And we are representing that particular amount by using a random variable. So what is the random variable? Let x be number of daughters in a family with 3 children in a village. And the respective probabilities are given like this. So what is the data provided here? The probability of 0 daughters is 1 by 8. 1 by 8. That is 1 by 8 in the sense almost here less than 16% or less than 15%, right? Probability of one daughter is 3 by 8. Probability of two daughters is 3 by 8. Probability of three daughters is 1 by 8, right? So these are the probabilities observed in a village, and we can represent them by using a simple probability mass function, and pictorially you can represent like this. So that is, it is a tabular column representation PMF, and it is pictorial representation. Right? 0, 1, 2, 3 are the elements of the random variable, and the function values are 1 by 8, 2 by 8, 3 by 8. This is the way to represent probability mass function, right? And here for the probability mass function, there are certain conditions, and a function P is a possible probability mass function of a discrete random variable on the range x1 to xn or x1 x2 up to infinite, if and only if, what is the condition here? Always the P of xk must be a positive value. It should not be a negative or non-negative. It must be a non-negative value. And at the same time, the sum of all the probabilities in the function must be equal to 1. And these two are the conditions to be satisfied for defining the probability mass function. What is the first one? The probability should not be a non-negative value. Sorry, it should not be a negative value, and it should be a non-negative value. Always it should be a positive value, right? And at the same time, all the probabilities in the probability mass function must be the sum of all the probabilities must be equal to 1, right? So another thing is to analyze a problem, sometimes we need to develop or define another thing, that is cumulative distribution function, and we can also call it as probability distribution function. In the short form, we represent this with CDF, cumulative distribution function, CDF. So what is that CDF? And that CDF is defined like this: the probability P of x less than or equal to x. What do you mean by x less than or equal to x? Capital X is the random variable, and small x is representing the elements of the random variable. So if I take p of x less than or equal to x, then that probability is the probability of the event x less than or equal to x. For example, that small x value is 3 in the rolling a die experiment, then you can say the p of x less than or equal to 3 as probability of the event, that is x less than or equal to occurrence of 3. That is, it is a number that depends on x, that is it is a function of x, right? And we call this function as cumulative probability distribution function, or in the short form, cumulative distribution function of the random variable x, right? And it is always denoted by fx of x. So therefore, in the mathematical way, I can represent the cumulative distribution function as fx of x equal to p of capital X less than or equal to small x, right? Capital X less than or equal to small x. And fx of x is often called distribution of x and simply noted as CDF. And the argument x is any real number ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity. Why? Because it is element of the random variable, right? And if x is a discrete random variable, a special representation is there for cumulative distribution function. If at all, if x is a discrete random variable, that is, how do you represent capital Fx of x equal to summation I equal to 1 to capital N, 1 to capital N, and that capital N always depends on the number of outcomes or number of elements in the random variable, right? So here summation I equal to 1 to n p of x equal to xi into u of x minus xi, u of x minus xi. In the short form, you can also write like this: summation I equal to 1 to capital N p of xi into u of x minus xi. So here that p of xi is nothing but probability mass function. Probability mass function. U of x minus xi is nothing but unit step function. Unit step function. U of x is nothing but unit step function. U of x minus xi is the shifting of unit step function. That is, what is unit step function? The unit step function can be defined like this: u of x equal to 1 for x greater than or equal to 0, and u of x is 0 for x less than 0. That is the definition of unit step function. And unit step function exists only for x greater than or equal to 0 and equal to 1. For x less than 0, it is 0. So that is, the probability mass function is multiplied by unit step function, or the shifting of unit step function, to generate cumulative distribution function. What is that n? That n may be infinite, or sometimes it may be infinite for some random variables. It may be finite for some random variables based on the type of the experiment, right? So here the new thing you need to remember is unit step function, right? A simple problem is given in the die experiment. Again, I'm not calling like rolling a die experiment. In the short form, I'm calling in the die experiment. If the die is fair, that is no biasing is there, the fair die, and the chance of getting is equally probable, that is there is a equal chance for getting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, right? Then draw its PMF and CDF. PMF stands for what? Probability mass function. CDF stands for what? Cumulative distribution function. Probability mass function represents the probability values, whereas CDF represents a function which is here in this experiment. Is it a discrete random variable or continuous random variable? It is discrete random variable. Why? Because all the outcomes are discrete outcomes, right? So therefore, for such a discrete random variable, just now we have discussed how to write the cumulative distribution function, and now we are going to see how to draw or how to represent the CDF in the pictorial way or graphical way, right? That is rolling a die experiment having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values. Here, if I take the probabilities, the probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is equal to 1 by 6. So this particular graph is called probability mass function. Why? Because the probabilities are represented for all the elements of x equal to 1, x equal to 2, and so on. If you observe one thing here, am I representing any value in between 4 and 5? No. Therefore, it is called discrete random variable. Therefore, it is called discrete random variable. For the discrete random variable, how to draw the CDF, cumulative distribution function? So anyway, here the random variable may be discrete, but the value may be any value, that is approximately you can take 0.167. If I take the cumulative distribution function, you are taking the cumulative probability, that is at x equal to 1, p of x equal to 1 into u of x minus 1 plus p of x equal to 2 into u of x minus 2 plus p of x equal to 3, and like that you are taking, and it becomes a staircase function. It becomes a staircase function. So here, how to write the answer for this, solution for this? See here, if the die is equally probable, then getting each number on the die will have probability 1 by 6. So therefore, probability mass function can be represented or can be denoted in the tabular form like this. That is elements of the random variable versus the probability values. Graphically, you can represent like this: p of x versus elements of random variable x, right? Similarly, for the discrete random variable, cumulative distribution function is, how do you write? How do you write? Cumulative. Cumulative in the sense here we have to add. We have to add. Cumulative addition must be taken in the sense, first for x equal to 1, the value is 1 by 6. For x equal to 2, what is the definition of distribution function? Fx of x equal to p of x less than or equal to x, right? So that is for the first value for x equal to 1, what is the fx of 1? Fx of 1 equal to p of x equal to 1, p of x less than or equal to 1, which is equal to p of x equal to 1. Why? Because there is no value which is less than 1. Therefore, p of x equal to 1. Similarly, what is fx of 2? P of x less than or equal to 2. That is p of x less than or equal to 2 in the sense, before 1 we have another element, that is before 2 we have another element, that is 1. Therefore, the value of fx at x equal to 2 or fx of 2 can be equal to p of x equal to 1 plus p of x equal to 2. Therefore 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, that is 2 by 6. Similarly fx of 3 is p of x equal to 1 plus p of x equal to 2 plus p of x equal to 3, that is 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, that is 3 by 6. How long it continues? Until you reach the last element of the random variable, that is 6. That is 6. So it is tabular column representation. How do you represent graphically? So we know the representation of fx of x in the functional way by using unit step functions. So by using such representation, you can plot the cumulative distribution function, and that plot is a staircase function, right? And coming to the properties of cumulative distribution function, right? So we'll continue in the next class. We start the cumulative distribution function properties in the next class. So here, before concluding, so in today's class, what are the things we have discussed? The first one is what is random variable and how to define the random variable for any real-time experiment. And the third point is what are the conditions for any function to be a random variable, right? We have seen. And then how do you represent the probability mass function for any random variable which is defined for an experiment? And how do you represent the cumulative distribution function for any random variable, right? Thank you.